Week 17 is in the books, and we basically have a very good picture of what the NFL playoffs are going to look like for the most part. But some things could be spiced up in the next week in Week 18. But for now, let's just look at what happened in Week 17 of the NFL season. Dallas versus Washington. This was a letdown game for many reasons. I thought Dak Prescott was going to explode offensively in this Christmas classic, but no, he just played very okay. He had a very good start and then quickly faltered out and finished with more incompletions than completions, which is kind of off the record for Dak Prescott these days. Also, their O-line played terrible. O-line's been great all year, gets absolutely swarmed by this Washington defensive line. It isn't bad by any means, it's okay, but to see the O-line kind of just phone it in because their season's over is kind of annoying. Josh Johnson played his best. This is the best Josh Johnson's going to do. Bill Krusky-Merritt played mid for the most part, but had that great run to give him 70 yards. The game was close, but it wasn't fun to watch by any means. This game was supposed to just be maybe Dallas blowing them out by 50 points, but no, not that. We got a boring game of two teams who just don't care anymore. And that makes me big sad, because I wanted Dak to lay the Oshkosh Bagosh on this Washington Commanders football team, but he just didn't. And now we got to move on to the next game, which is arguably worse than the first game. Minnesota versus Detroit. Max Bromner becomes the first quarterback in NFL history to get sacked 7 times and throw for less than 70 yards and to win a football game. And not only that, they won by 13 against the Detroit Lions with their healthy offense. The defense of the Minnesota Vikings has always been very good, but to see it today on full force makes me think, man, if they had a competent quarterback, they would win 13 games this year, which I thought they were going to win 13 games this year. But guess what? I expect a guy to call himself 9 to play full this year, and a guy named Max Boomer to play too. This is some horse baloney right here. I'm telling you right now, I should be right in my predictions, but I got screwed. I was screwed by the damn principles of this NFL team in this NFL season. I demand respect and redemption, goddammit. Minnesota's 8-8, and they're actually not last in their division anymore, which is insane. Detroit might as well just lose out their games so they get a better draft pick. Maybe we took that Dallas-Washington game for granted, you guys. Maybe we took it for granted, because this game was the worst of them all. The Kansas City Chiefs are purposely tanking this game. They shut down Rashee Rice. Mahomes is out. Their O-line's injured. They started Chris Oladokun in his first start, and he played okay against one of the best defenses in the league. For his first start, that's not bad. And the Chiefs almost won. The Broncos were losing in this game, you guys. They were losing in this game, and they were tied. They were tied in the fourth quarter to this team. That is the show how kind of fraudulent this Denver Broncos team is. And Denver is a team that has won 10 games by 1 score or more. And teams, when they do that, either lose in the Super Bowl or get blown out in the playoffs. The last 2 teams to do that were the 2022 Minnesota Vikings, who lost to the 9-7 Giants in the welcome round, and the 15-2 Chiefs, who got destroyed by the Eagles. It is not a sustainable way to win games. And there's a reason these teams end up getting blown out in the playoffs, is because you can't squeak out wins. And maybe Denver goes in and wins their divisional game. Heck, maybe they go to the championship game and win that too. But somewhere along the line, fate has written in the book for this team. They can't escape it. They will lose at one point. It doesn't matter if it's in the divisional, championship, or Super Bowl. This team is going to lose eventually, and nothing is going to stop that. The Chiefs, on the other hand, just want better draft picks, and who can blame them? They're going to get a great one, and Mahomes is probably not going to be healthy by week 1, but, I mean, you know, you guys won 3 Super Bowls. You can take a break from winning for a little while, I guess. This game is exactly how I didn't expect it to go, but also I expected it to go, also how I didn't expect it to go. The Chargers-Texans game, I felt very confident the Texans were going to win, and they did end up winning, but the game started off so weird. C.J. Stroud started off hot with 2 touchdowns. My goddamn, C.J. Stroud. Stroud plays like this team is going to be hard to beat. And then for the rest of the game, he did nothing. He threw 2 interceptions, stalled on offense, did nothing. He tried to throw the game away. He would have thrown the game away if Cameron Dicker could kick a field goal and if Justin Herbert had a brain. But fortunately for him, that defense on Houston is so goddamn good, it don't matter. Because the defense is number 1 in the league. It's not close. DeMeco Ryans is a great coach. There you have it. That is what I said. The Chargers, on the other hand, are an injured to riddled team, right? And I thought they were going to lose this game, but they could have won this game. They really could have won this game. Like the missed field goal, the interception. It's like just stuff like that. They could have won this game very easily. They had 0 points off of those 2 interceptions C.J. Stroud threw. They got 0 points off that. And it's like, if you get 0 points off turnovers, you're not going to win a game. You're not going to win a game with Stroud going to the defense Doesn't matter. They lost. Now, I'm going to guarantee you 2 things for this year's playoffs, everybody, all right? I'm guaranteeing you the Texans are going to win their wild card game, and the Chargers are going to lose their wild card game. Doesn't matter who they're facing. If the Chargers face the Steelers, I guess the Steelers are getting a victory in the playoffs this year, because I don't trust the Chargers to do anything. Do you trust this team to do anything? I don't trust them to do anything. They can't figure any shit out. Justin Herbert's good until it gets tough, and then he sucks. Jim Harbaugh's good until he makes a boneheaded call. It's the same thing every year. They're never going to win a Super Bowl with this team. They need to get better. And I think they're just going to be a one and done in the playoffs, because they're either facing Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, maybe Houston, or the Patriots. And I think they're going to lose to all 4 of those teams. Bite me if you want. The Texans could be a sleeper team. I kind of think they're good. The Baltimore Ravens defeat the Jordan Loveless Green Bay Packers 41-24. And now this is where the video I come up and say, how about them Ravens? Am I right, guys? They're so good. They're so good. No. Listen. I need a genuine question right here. Why does this offense work so much better without Lamar Jackson? If it's as simple as just pounding the out of the ball to Derrick Henry, then we would have been 12-5 this year. Because if it was that simple, then I think every one of the coaching staff needs to be fired, outside of Zachary Orr. But apparently it is that simple, because Derrick Henry rushed for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, easily dismantling the Micah Parsons-less Packers. Now, I don't want to glaze Derrick Henry too much, like he had a great game, but I won't go too far or anything. But I will. Derrick Henry is the GOAT. He's better than Jim Brown. He's better than Eric Dickerson. He's better than Barry Sanders. Okay, maybe not Barry Sanders. He's better than Chris Johnson. Alright, I'm going to hop off the glaze for now. I got to say one thing. Malik Willis, hats off to you, dude. You played so good. Malik Willis was the best player on the field today. Second best player on the field today, and he was the best player in the Packers for sure. He put the team on his back, made countless great plays over and over and over again, and unfortunately he got injured, and his team let him down in the end, which sucks. But you know what? I think this guy might get a starting job next year for some team, and he could be one of those quarterbacks like a Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Jones, who just revives their career, and I think he could very well do that. Other than that, the Ravens win, and we got to get to the next game to see if they actually have a chance at the playoffs. Phillip Rivers and his Colts tried their best again, but again they fail and lose, this time to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars essentially, I don't know if they for sure clinched the South, but they basically clinched the South with this win because the next game is against Tennessee at home. So they basically clinched the South with the win. So good for the Jaguars. They did it. They revamped their franchise somehow, but they did it. God damn it. Now, the Indianapolis Colts. I feel bad. I don't usually feel bad for teams, but I genuinely feel bad for Colts fans because this is rough. Man, you were supposed to have a terrible year, possibly be last in the division. I thought they were going to be last in the division. I'm an idiot because there's so much talent on this team. You start off 8-1, and you guys are 8-8 right now. It sucks. My heart goes out to you, Colts fans. You guys, at least at the bare minimum, deserve to be a 7-seed wildcard spot. And if you get your ass kicked in the wildcard, it's all right, so be it. But at least you made it there. The fact you guys started 8-1 and missed the playoffs is actually sad. It's actually so depressing. It's almost as depressing as cold pizza. And I don't know what this notion is with cold pizza, but I've always heard all my life that cold pizza is really great. It's really good. Cold pizza sucks. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I don't know who thought of this back in the 50s, thought this was a great idea. Dude, cold pizza is awful. It is absolutely horrendous. Microwave pizza is pretty bad too. But I think I'd take microwave pizza over cold pizza any day of the week. And that is just a fact of life right there. If you watch this video, you gotta know one thing. Cold pizza sucks. And that's not me saying that's my opinion. That is a fact of life. It does not good. Who likes cold pizza? You like cold cheese and pepperoni? What are you, a psychopath? Good lord. Welp. This is going up to be one of the saddest divisions in the NFL. Maybe first or second saddest division, depending on how Week 18 goes. The Buccaneers lost to the Miami Dolphins and Quinn Ewers. They lost to them. The Miami Dolphins, a team that is notoriously bad against winning record teams, beat them. Quinn Ewers played a very solid game, kind of showing that Tua is not that special, no offense. But still, Quinn Ewers played a very solid game against a semi-competitive team. And they overall just dominated this game. the Buccaneers had to get a garbage touchdown with 50 seconds left to make it look close. I listen, we're going to get to the next game, which is the Panthers game. They lost too, but like this game just makes me think like they don't deserve this division, man. Like they just don't. Like it's embarrassing the fact they do that. And I know it's in Tampa Bay and there's a lot of elderly people in Tampa Bay. Probably don't care for the team too much, but sometimes you got to be mean to the elderly. And that sounds harsh, but it's true. Sometimes the elderly need to be put in their place. Some of them are crabby and annoying as heck, and maybe not nice to you. So sometimes you got to put the elderly down and say, hey, shut it. Go back to your retirement home.
Stay there.
All right? Come visit you on weekends. That's how you go. Next game. Mike Vrabel had one job today, and he completed it, and it is getting Drake May that MVP award, and I think he secured it. Now, do I think he's played better than a Matt Stafford this year? No, I don't think he has, but to get MVP, you need to have absurdly great stats, and 5 touchdown passes on 2 incompletions certainly does help it. And before you say, like, oh, it's against the Jets, Matt Stafford has like 20 touchdown passes within the 1-yard line. So we're not talking about stat padding because both of these guys are stat padding. Who cares? It's for an award. But with those 5 touchdown passes, that puts Drake May at exactly 30 touchdown passes, a nice solid number to go off of, over 4,000 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. And with them winning the AFC East, I think they might give it to Drake May. And that sucks. I'd rather Stafford win it, but I think Drake May has done enough to get it this year. And listen, there's been years where people think it's robbery. People thought Dak Prescott should have won it over Lamar Jackson in 2023. Are they right? I don't know. Do I think Lamar's better quarterback than Dak? Yes. Do I think Lamar should have won it over him that year? I don't know. That's up for you to decide. I'm just happy he won it. But for now, I think if Drake May does end up winning, I don't think it's a robbery by any means. But it's still going to be one of those things talked about how it's like, maybe Stafford should have won it. I don't really care about this game. Sorry. The game doesn't matter. Who cares about the game? Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. The Cleveland Browns defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6, meaning the Ravens are somehow, some way still alive in this NFL season. Good God, just put me out of my misery already. I can't take it anymore. This team in the Cleveland Browns has been a feisty team all year. They haven't been good, but their defense has been very good. Great rookie standouts. Myles Garrett having a generational run. Denzel Ward's still there playing great. They just got a lot of guys on the defense playing good, and they showed up today. So first of all, thank you, Cleveland, for winning. Thank you, because it gives my Ravens a chance at the playoffs. Do I think in the grand scheme of things, if the Ravens get in, will it matter? Not really. I think they'll probably lose to any team. Besides the Chargers, I think they'll lose to any team in the playoffs. But you know what? Maybe they get there and see what happens. I'm not sure Lamar's going to be playing the rest of the season. Hell, I'm not even sure he'll play the playoffs if we get in. But to say this, Pittsburgh Steelers sacrificed clinching the division to make sure Myles Garrett does not get that sack record. That is the most insane thing ever. I watched this game. It almost seemed like, what are the Pittsburgh Steelers doing? There was a 3rd and 4 at midfield with 9 minutes left. They ran a draw play, and they lost 2 yards. I was like, is Mike Tomlin petty enough? Or maybe not Mike Tomlin, maybe the owner is petty enough to make sure that Myles Garrett has less sacks than TJ Watt in a season, that he's willing to lose this game? Maybe. Genuinely, maybe they are that petty. However, I will say Myles Garrett does have a chance to get the sack record next game. However, it would be his 17th game, so you could do the asterisk baloney. You could, to the Steelers fan, be like, oh, well, Myles Garrett got it, but TJ Watt actually got it in 16 games. He had 22 and 16 games. Myles Garrett 21 and a half. TJ Watt better. It's like they play different positions. One's a linebacker, one's a defensive end. Good Lord. Anyways, Myles Garrett didn't get a sack, but he was heavily effective in this game. Double teamed all game, triple teamed sometimes, and being so focused on that it allowed Aaron Rodgers to get sacked by other people, and that was a huge factor in this game and why they lost. It just seemed crazy to me. I thought they'd be more focused on actually, making the playoffs. But you know what? That's fine. I'm fine with that. Sorry, Myles, but hope you get the sack record next week. But if not, then I appreciate your sacrifice. Cardinals Bengals. Game didn't matter in the slightest, but Joe Burrow got to show off his arm talent and show how good he is. Joe Burrow is at really good stats this year for the only 6 games he's played. And it's unfortunate because if this team had Joe Burrow, they probably would have won the division this year. They're 6-10. They went on like a 7-game losing streak when Burrow went out or something like that, like 6 games losing streak. I don't know. It was a lot of games lost. They probably would be 10-7, be in the playoffs right now with Joe Burrow. But that is the way Joe Burrow goes, and that is the way the offensive line goes, as in not giving him help, which they've done a great job at not doing. It wasn't that much of a game. The Bengals dominating, and that was pretty much it. The Cardinals don't care. They just want to lose. Tyler Shuck is great at one thing, and ruining draft stock is one of them, because my God, this guy loves to win games for the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to look right now. What is his record on the year? Tyler Shuck, what is your record? Okay, is 5-3. That is pretty good for a rookie on a bad football team. And he played very good today, had a comeback win against the Tennessee Titans. Now, I know it's Tennessee Titans, but listen, it's an NFL team. I got to cross the draws if I have to, but it's a football team. It counts. They won. They're 6-10. They're going to be looking bright next year. Titans, they're whatever. They suck. Damn, I was wrong about the Panthers. The Panthers won today. They would have clinched the NFC South, but I forgot they're facing an absolute juggernaut in the Seattle Seahawks. And Sam Darnold tried his damn best to throw this game. He did for a second, but the defense of Seattle is so good, and the offense of Carolina just absolutely just stalled out over and over again. Bryce Young, man, I don't know what's going on with this guy. Every week, I don't know what I'm getting with him. He reminds me of Marcus Mariota in his third year in the Titans. They went 9-7. Mariota would either play absolutely horrendous football or play some really good ball. And that is what Bryce Young has done this year, man. And it's every week with this guy. I don't know what he's going to do. It's just like a panic attack every time I watch a Panthers game, because I'm hyperventilating, wondering what this small quarterback is going to do each week. And I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be generational Aaron Rodgers level, or is it going to be Trevor Siemian level on the Broncos? I don't know, and it scares me to my core. But other than that, it's a pretty good win for the Seattle Seahawks, because they have one game left in their season. Okay, as you're seeing this right now, I'm recording this at 4:30 in the afternoon. The Raiders and Giants game is still going on, and I'm sorry, but I'm just going to review it now. Does anyone genuinely care about a review of this game? If you do, I'm sorry, but I'm going to review it right now. It's 6-0 Giants right now. So the funny thing is, actually, you're going to know the end of the score before I do. So you guys are from the future. So whatever's on the screen, I don't know about. I have no idea what that final score is, but you guys do. Makes you guys special in a way. Jackson Dart playing pretty solid. So is Geno Smith. Never mind, Geno has a pick. Okay, did not see that one. Anyways, let's predict what's going to happen in this game. I think this game's going to end 14-10 for the Giants. 2 touchdowns from, we'll say Devin Singletary gets 2 touchdowns. Geno Smith gets a touchdown. Field goal from whatever the kicker is on the Raiders. Daniel Carlson, field goal. Geno goes down for a final drive, does not get it, and they lose. But I will say with the Giants are honestly a disappointment of a team. Obviously, they were supposed to be finished last in division, but they're 2-13. I thought this team should have had at least finish with 6 wins, but they don't have that. They actually are exploding on themselves. And Jackson Dart has looked worse and worse each week, which honestly, it's not even his sophomore year yet, and he's already regressed. So it's not very good, but he's a rookie, so I'll cut him some stuff. Geno Smith is a quarterback in the NFL that frightens me sometimes, because he seems like a pretty cool guy, Geno Smith. But I just have the worst feeling in the world. You might just be like one day you're just going to see Geno Smith under your covers just staring back at you, and you're going to wonder, why aren't you playing football, and why are you sneaking under my bed? And I would be terrified. If you saw Geno Smith under your blankets looking at you, I would be freaking terrified. But yeah, so the Giants won, or not, or the Raiders won, or they tied. Buffalo versus Philadelphia. We were given a very, very rainy game in Buffalo when the Buffalo Bills took on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this game had a great down-to-the-wire moment, but the game, for the most part, was really not that fun. The Eagles started off with a 13-0 lead, and then in the second half, they didn't score a single point and punted, 10 different times. It was a bore, if you ask me. The Bills did not do a damn thing until about 5 minutes left in the game when they scored a touchdown. Then they got the ball back and got another touchdown. And, of course, they go for 2, because why would you not go for 2? And they go for 2, and they don't get it. Josh Allen misses a wide-open Khalil Shakir. Eagles win. Eagles are basically secured at the 3 seed, even though they already won. This game didn't really matter too much. People were making a big deal out of it, but, listen here, guys. You needed the Patriots to lose to the Dolphins. A Miami team going into New England in the cold. Well, New England's that good. You needed them to win. Let's be for real. That wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. The Bills are a wildcard team. Now, the Bills fell to the 7 seed, which could be very interesting, but overall, they just were never going to win this division at this point. It was already too late for that. They've lost too many games. They were in a bad spot. It's just how it was. And the Eagles were they were kind of secured at this spot. They didn't really need to win. But, they did. Niners, Bears. Bro, absolute cinema. This game was so good, and it didn't need to be this good. I was so confused why it was so high scoring and so close, because the Chicago Bears, they can't get the first seed. It's like extremely low odds for them to get the first seed at this point. And they didn't care. The Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson just did all that for the love of the game. They're locked in at the 2 seed, but they don't care. They want to put on a show. And they absolutely did, putting on a great game. Speaking of that, the Niners played amazing. The Niners looked awesome. Brock Purdy's looked great. 10 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks of football is crazy. And on this insane touchdown right here, it's like, bro, if Brock Purdy's playing like this, even though they're injured, they could win this 1 seed and maybe go all the way. It was a fun game and a much needed game because I didn't think this week was that great, especially with the shenanigans you got in the Pittsburgh game. And, the Buffalo game was kind of a letdown, but that was a much needed game that was really fun. So hats off to those two teams. And now we're getting a showdown between the Seahawks and Niners for the number 1 seed next week. Can I get a moment of silence for Matt Stafford's MVP run? Thank you. Now, you would think this wouldn't matter too much because the Rams can't win the division and they really are stuck to a wildcard spot, but it does. Losing like this to the Atlanta Falcons for 3 interceptions does matter, and Atlanta's got a good defense. No one gives Atlanta credit, but they have a pretty good defense, you guys. It's just their team overall. It's not very clicky, it doesn't have much chemistry. It is what it is. But Matt Stafford basically threw his MVP odds away. Drake May just had 5 touchdown passes, and Matt Stafford had a bad game. That basically seals it right there. It's tough because Stafford has like 10 more touchdowns in May, but the weapons Stafford has compared to Drake May's weapons and the pressure Drake May goes under compared to Matt Stafford, it's a lot different. Like, he's working with a much worse O-line and a worse receiving core. So I don't think it's a bad idea if Drake May gets it. But I also think Stafford probably should get it. But that's just me. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but that's just me. All right? You can have whatever opinion you want, but that's what I think should happen. All right? But after that, basically the Atlanta Falcons won, and the Atlanta Falcons have the opportunity to do the funniest thing this Sunday. If the Buccaneers win on Saturday, they have the funniest opportunity to do this Sunday. So we'll get there when we get there, though. But that is it for the week 17 of football. I hope you enjoyed this week of football, everybody. I thought it was overall just kind of an okay week, but that Bears-Niners game made me so happy and giggity inside. I chortled with laughter when I was watching that game. But that's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Hope you had a good Christmas, and hope you have a good New Year. See y'all next time. Bye.